Hey, what's happening? This is 771 717, the anointed one, Mystic Kid. It's like 7 in the morning, and I'm basically doing probably at this point my the most important video I've done thus far, as far as I'm concerned. I had to really get my chakras in order, get my chi, my energy um, aligned, so I could deliver this message properly. Something in me was like hindering me from keep on recording and continuing this process of my channel. And sometimes I'm feeling it, and other times I doubt myself. But at the same time, someone has kind of directed me intuitively, leading me to record this video for y'all today. So, what I'm saying? This video basically is about spiritual wickedness, spiritual darkness, um, you know, spiritual evil, spiritual wickedness in the high places, and principalities of darkness, of wickedness, the unrighteous, the unjust, soulless beings, soulless entities that lack empathy, and just see us as eaters, slaves, sheeple. So this video is about that, about the not psychological warfare, I'm sorry, that's my next video, but spiritual warfare, that we're an attack that we're under, that seems to be increasing all the time. And so basically, there's three things you can perceive. One, that the planet that we live on is actually a human farm for reptilians. I'll dive, deeper into that. Basically, that it's a human farming for our souls, where these evil entities, reptilian beings, or whatever has been controlling, manipulating this planet for thousands and thousands, maybe millions of years, basically uses our negative energy as substance it's kind of like a fuel for this matrix. I know it sounds weird, but like with the news, with everything that's going on, it just keeps us scared, and in a state of fear, panic, kind of like fight or flight response mode at all times. It's not supposed to, your brain is supposed to operate at that reptilian, we have a reptilian part of our brain that's supposed to operate in that mode all the time. And, kind of like that cartoon, not cartoon, but the Pixar animated, Disney owns Pixar animated movie Monsters Inc. Supposedly they show symbols in the ball about adrenochrome, because adrenochrome is actually can be broken down structurally, and of the chemistry of it, and they show it, and the chemical formulas, and in Monsters Inc. they basically have portals where they get to just show up in anybody's room, and they have to make the kids scared, and then they basically like bottle up that kid's fear, and the more fear that they get, the more powerful they become, or higher ranking, And it's fucking crazy. They just show you what's going on in real life, and they show it in a stupid cartoon, animated movie with these ridiculous looking monsters that you look like you could just slap fire out of. But it's a metaphor for what's taking place, If you look around, everybody's always in a constant state of no trust anymore, no communication, evil stares, jealousy, envy, just people not being nice to each other. I just show love and I'm nice to everybody, and you should just see, like, some people react very good to it, and then other people, you can just feel the hate, the distaste, and it's kind of just comes with the territory of being one of the chosen ones, being great, shining. My aura is glowing wherever I go. I get weird stares, people staring at me. That goes back to target individuals, TIs. There's actually a lot of truth. A lot of these people are just paranoid wackos who want attention, so they bring it upon themselves. But other people are actually, chosen, angelic, light beings. Here, the 144,000 prophesized, indigo children, star children, people who are here now. The ancestors, stop being a fool. Open up your damn mind, because your ancestors are trying to communicate with you, and you're too closed off being a retard and drinking Mountain Dew and eating Cheetos all the time and watching whatever idiotic The Bachelorette or some shit. But alright, so that's about the Earth being a human farm, but Earth is also a school, place where for your soul, it's really why we're here, I believe, is for your soul, your spirit to grow, because Earth, third dimension, physical, is very different than a lot of the other planets or dimensions that have intelligent life on it. A lot of these entities, especially the fallen ones, the Nephilim, the fallen demons, these are the spirits of the fallen angels, giants, not the giants, but the fathers of these giants. And maybe there's some female angels that are fallen as well. I'm not sure. I need to read the Bible more thoroughly in the Torah, and I plan on doing so, building my knowledge, because like I said, the Earth is a school, and not like public school where we've been deceived, lied to about every damn thing. When I think about it, it's just such a letdown that I devoted so many man hours and years of my life into such a destructive, false system. But to be honest, I love my parents with all my heart, but they didn't have the tools to educate me properly. So I don't think school did either, but while I was going to school, the people I met, the experiences I went through, and when we were having recreational activities, as well as some good or bad experiences as a group or with friends. It's always better. Being alone is really hard. Some people are better at it, like Nicholas Tesla, but a lot of people really crave companionship, and the human touch You know, like that's why a lot of people get massages or whatnot. Because these days it's hard to find a woman that's gonna massage it, take care of her, do the way she's supposed to, and that's really sad. It's really sad. You know, most dudes nowadays they have a if they're not broke as shit, they have massage therapists come in and may not get a happy ending. A lot of guys, that's how they get the release nowadays. It's really sad. You know, um, it's not a double standard. A lot of these dudes are whack. Technology got them whacked out. So I feel but the females need to step the game up, get their heads out of their ass for real, seriously. And you know, so yeah, basically, Earth is a school. You need to learn, and you go through levels. You get as much knowledge, information, experience as you can, and when you leave, you don't stay in school forever. You eventually graduate, and that's when you ascend. You go up to the higher dimensions once you have learned what you need to learn, once you have done what you were here to do. And if you haven't taken this time to do what you're supposed to do, either, I've discussed this on, my other videos, and I'll discuss it in the future, but, you're either going to be reincarnated into having a tougher life, so you learn what you're supposed to learn, or do what you're supposed to do. Your soul gets trapped. Or you go to hell. There is no time to ascend later. The time to ascend is now. The time given to you is now. You can't wait for later. Later might never come, especially nowadays. It's scary. And then the third thing that I'm gonna say out of like what here is on Earth is that people's perception of reality now is skewed. Some people think the Earth is flat. Some people say it is exactly how we see it on Universal NBC. Like a sphere. Some people think we live under a dome, a firmament, and that space is not what we think it is. It's not vast and expansive. It's actually closer than we think and more accessible, and basically travel through it a lot easier than we are led to believe. Me personally, I'm gonna talk about this in other videos, but I'll only show you pictures and maps. I believe that the false doctrine that we're spinning through space at thousands of miles an hour, being held by gravity, is a lie. I think the Nazis, because I believe we never really beat the Germans, that we're living in modern Germany right now. NWO, New World Order bullshit. Don't feed too much in that. We're already living in it. But yeah, people's reality, because there's so much disinformation. People don't know what is real, what's not real. Unless I'm telling you, unless you ask God, I used to love Absol the rapper until I saw, I thought he was a genuine dude. I was like, it's finally a rapper. Lupe Fiasco too. Both of these assholes. Piece of shit. I saw that. I used to like both of them. Those are my favorite rappers, thought they were for the people until I saw Thou Wilt Be Done. Same shit from Aleister Crowley, fucking bullshit, and with Satanism. And what do you mean Thou Wilt Be Done? Like what? You just do what you want? He has that tattooed in Old English on his back. You know, that fucking blind asshole. And then Lupe Fiasco, you know, he was at some interview and I saw him wearing a shirt that said that. So it's like, I know what time it is. I know you gotta sell out to make it to the status where they were at, where they have climbed to, you know. And it's funny because Lupe Fiasco has that one song, you know, words I think forgot it's like words I never said. It's like it's not what you did say, it's what you didn't say that causes destruction in this world. It was a very positive music video, but it was very it's from a person that is not genuine. And then Absol came out with that song that made him famous, where he's like, we're in modern day Babylon, everybody Babylon, and then he talks about if the Crip, if all the gangs in the world got together, the Crips, the Bloods, we could you know, take the government down. And he's just feeding you bullshit. He's not gonna help you. And you know, I live right now, where I'm living at is in a retirement, in a town of retirement where everybody drives golf carts around and plays golf, and it's really nice, serene area. But the people are, sorry, but my father's generation, very close-minded, materialistic, carnivorous wasters and consumers to a crazy scale. And yeah, I know the World War II generation, my grandma's generation, really built this country to what it is, and a lot of people lost their lives from that generation. And my heart goes out to those people, and I do pay homage to the people who have really, because there's always like exceptions to the rules, and I do pay homage to people who have put their necks on the line to progress us and really had it in their heart for our best intentions. And even in the secret societies, Illuminati, whatever, CIA, FBI, the shadow government, yes, there's evil agendas, evil plots, and bad intentions, not in our best intentions, and things that are done against us. But in all those big brother organizations and secret societies, there is actually good people in those groups who actually want the betterment of everybody, of the world and society. You know, I mean, I hate to say it, but you know, in Avengers, Infinity Wars, and Endgame, you know, Thanos, he thought he was doing what needed to be done for the betterment of society. I'm not saying that I agree with that, if you know what that was talking about. And that's the truth, you know. You know, people, there's good. These leaders that run the world are not so soulless. Some may be, and maybe there are non-human entities like reptilians running the show behind the scenes for who knows longer than, you know, even before the story of the Bible. And you know, like I said, in this village town, these people, they're innocent bliss. They act like, they walk around like zombies. they're, even though I'd say I should pay homage and respect my elders, they're very disrespectful to me. I've been a waiter, a server at a restaurant on and off for the last, 13 years or so. And in this town, it was worse than when I did it in Miami. And I read it in Miami. I got in fights, literally where I worked at, from, being a waiter to a bunch of drunk ass hooligans watching sports, drinking fucking beers, knocking them down. Had to knock this motherfucker down 2 different occasions, but it happens. Miami, Fort Lauderdale, it's crazy. Look what happened to my boy XXXTentacion. I really got much love for that dude. Probably be my favorite musician of all time until I pass away. Well, no, my soul will still hold him as my favorite musician of all time. Because you don't forget if you do what you're supposed to. If you come back reincarnated, yeah, you have come back with amnesia because for your own sake, you don't want to remember your past lives. Like watching a movie, it'd be very scary. All right. Another thing I'm going to talk about is www. When you go on your computer and you press www, is actually the Hebrew letter of Vav, which resembles the V and the W in Hebrew language, but it's Vav. Every Hebrew letter has a number. It's assigned a number, and this is where kind of the basis of Kabbalah comes from. Mysticism, mysticism. It's very much about sacred geometry and sacred numbers, sacred math, and how to manipulate and use those words and the math to do very intense to have some far out abilities like these Orthodox rabbis, and you've seen that the cube, the matrix cube, you've seen it in Mecca. They're actually everywhere. Research it to see the pictures of these cubes, structures that are located in many different locations. And the cube that rabbis actually wear on their chin strap, only certain ones, I'm sure, maybe a certain group of them engage. I believe the rabbis that have that square on their chin are the true high priests of Kabbalah in Judaism at these temples and synagogues. And who knows, maybe they're going to build the third temple. And what they're waiting for is a new king, like King David, King Solomon. Solomon is supposed to be king, the father of King David. But, I was listening to Santiago Belladucci, something like that. He used to work for the Catholic Church, and he has videos dating back to like 15 years where you should check him out if that's his name. Santos Bellator. My next video I'll have his name for you, but this guy, he has see me, I do a lot of research. That's like my favorite thing. My hobby is to learn and read and write, and I'm blessed to have that desire, because most people I know are lazy as shit. They don't want to do anything but lay around and watch TV all day, sit on the computer, probably watch porn. I don't know. That's actually what I'm talking about right now. What I'm getting to is www.vav, the Hebrew letter Vav, which stands for www, is 6. Yes. The number of Vav, which is www, is 6. So www is 666 in Hebrew, which predates English by thousands of years. So as much as I love XXXX Temptation, XXX really means 666. But I don't know if that was his intention. I just know he was way ahead of his time. Very intelligent man. And one thing I know about myself being a Gemini, you know, my sign, basically, we crave to learn more and to communicate with people. But what I was saying is, we also are masters of duality. So I can look at every side of every different perspective. You know, I can look through different people's eyes and see both sides of a situation. And another thing about my sign, air, is that versatile. We move. We go with the flow. And yin and yang is a kind of specialty of ours, duality. And that's why we don't really judge anybody. That's why I don't judge Existential, because he did a few things that seem throwing up signs, you know, for, you know, the Baphomet or whatever. You know, just like you see every entertainer, every artist throws up these signs. So, you know, if he did, I'm not judging him at all. I know, because I've listened to his interviews. He speaks positivity. You know, everybody goes through phases. That man didn't even get a chance to live out his 20s, you know. He definitely had good intentions, and I believe had a divine, I believe he was you know, type of angel, whatever, divine being. And his soul lives on, believe me. Definitely through his music, especially. And that's what keeps you immortal in this world, is putting your signature on it, putting a stain on this world. Some do it in a negative way, like Hitler. You know, you gotta ask yourself why people like Hitler was so successful in this matrix. Why was slavery so successful? You know, you just really have to ask yourself a couple of these things. So, you know, the linguistic mathematical construct of Kabbalah, like I said, is the number system that is with each Hebrew letter. Vav, the number 6. Yeah, I mean, as soon as you go on the computer and you type www, you're typing in 666, you're automatically, even if you do something that you think is positive, righteous, for the betterment of society online, you're still in the beast system. This is, you know, Satan runs this realm, this world, Saturn Matrix, Saturn Moon Matrix. The moon's artificial. There's, on the dark side, there's colonies, other entities that live on it. It's also hollow. Who the hell knows? You know, just like one of the moons on Saturn. It looks exactly like the Death Star in Star Wars. It literally looks like it was engineered. Somebody created it. Just like that book that talks about you know, the ring makers of Saturn. This astronomer. Basically, this astronomer who worked for NASA, retired, whatever, throughout working there and inspecting telescopes, and off his own research, he realized, wow, like 10 years prior, like a photo was taken, you see Saturn's rings aren't completed, they're not finished yet. And then 10 years later, you see something like a huge, kind of like a craft, like a big one, from like Star Trek type shit. And this craft is actually building. I can't explain it. You gotta read this book, Ringmakers of Saturn. I forgot the guy who wrote it. And there's crafts. Something created the rings on Saturn, and I can't tell you why. I don't know. Just like I don't know why there's a hexagram wave that is in at the top of Saturn that just never leaves. At the bottom of it is something that looks like an eye. So if you look at if you turn Saturn upside down, it looks like kind of like the eye in Lord of the Rings that's burning in the fire, kind of like that snake reptilian eye, cat eye. Cats are supposedly a mix between snake and feline. That's why they have those snake-like eyes, and that's why they're also very, very sneaky. They can go through very tiny places. You see how the body like bends if they need to squeeze through something. And they're untrustworthy, just like snakes. You can't stand snakes. I have friends that love them. I got 2 bearded dragons. I love my bearded dragons. I love, I even got love. I guess I got love for every creature on this and other planets. I don't know about other planets. There might be some mean things out there. You've seen like King Kong, the new King Kong, like Skull Island. Some of those bugs, those giant bugs. Nah. It's supposed to be in the inner Earth. There's them giant bugs. I ain't got no love for that. Kill the shit out of those, for real. That's like saying like if bugs were